Welcome back to the Keeping It Positive podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Cameron. And on today's episode, we'll be talking and continuing our I Love Me series while also touching on our New Year's check-in and how we're doing on our goals. But before we get started, let's start with our unpopular opinion of the day with Ashley.
So for today's unpopular opinion, we have a question. And the question is, do you think that movie theater popcorn is better than the store-bought popcorn?
Yeah. Yeah,
I definitely think movie theater popcorn is better. I don't know. It's just it's extra salty and extra buttery.
Yeah.
And then the extra butter that they give you.
And they pop it, they pop it in the thing.
Little
in the
big machine.
popcorn.
Yeah. I don't know if they clean the thing for real. And it might just be all the good little flavors of the popcorn from before just, in there. But something about movie theater popcorn is you can't touch it.
Yeah. I like movie theater popcorn. And they have you put extra butter on it.
Exactly.
The salt. Yeah. I see that perfectly. Okay, so now let's dive into today's topic. So today we'll start off by touching on our New Year's check-in. So where we're at with our goals and where we want to go. We, consistent with them, things like that. And then we'll kind of transition into talking about confidence and imposter syndrome and how that might have an effect on us in our 20s and how we deal with feelings of imposter syndrome and feeling like we're not good enough. So yes, but first we'll start off with our New Year's check-in. So we're checking back in with our goals that we had for this year, 2024. What are some of the things that you feel like, your goals that you've been consistent with, or things that, you feel like you've been sticking to as far as since we're in the second month of the year? So.
Honestly, I have been slacking.
Real.
One of my goals was to start running at least 3 times a week because I've been really, really good with that at the end of December. And then January came, and then New Year's came, and I just stopped. So, we're going to get back into that, though, because I signed up for a race on February 14th. So, there's no way that I can go out there and not have run this whole month. So, starting this week, I'm going to start back. Yeah, because I really have been slacking.
Get on that, yeah. At least do some runs, like a few runs, or just runs back and forth. And
something.
Go to the park and do a couple laps, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Or whatever. So, yeah. Okay, I see that. One goal that I feel like I had was to be consistent in the gym and stay consistent. And I have not been consistent like I want to be consistent. Like, I've gone every now and again, but I haven't,
Right, it's sporadically you go. You don't go every day.
Yes, and I don't like that. It makes me feel like I'm not on track of where I want it to be. So, because I normally want to go at least typically I try to go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but schedule's been thrown off, and then got sick, and it's things just throw off my consistency in my game. So I need to lock in on that. So yes, that's one thing that I feel like I've been slacking on recently. But
so what are some ways that we can get back into it? What are some things you can put into place to try to help you get the goals?
I feel like I'm thinking I need to maybe meet some people at the gym to hold me a little bit more accountable, or make me a little bit more excited to go, because I still like going, but I feel like maybe having somebody to go with might make me more we need to go, and then make if nothing's gonna throw me off my schedule, so if somebody asked me to do something, I'd be like, no, I can't go because I'm going to the gym with my friend. You know what I mean? So, doing that, and then also, maybe finding a different way to, necessarily now have to go to the gym, but, something else I can do to still be active. Especially wintertime, because, it's cold outside, and when it's cold and you're in your bed, it makes you not want to get up.
No, that's facts right there. You want to stay there all day long. Yeah, under the covers. It's nice and warm. Cause something about right when that leg pops out of that cover, it's
y'all,
it's very uncomfortable.
It's a struggle. So, just getting that motivation and getting once I get out of bed, I'm fine. I'm ready to go. What we doing? What I'm doing? What I'm handling. But once I'm in the bed, I don't want to get out at all. Especially when it's cold. Summertime, I'm ooh, it's fun. It's hot.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing stuff in summertime, but wintertime, it's ugh.
Something about the winter.
I lose a little bit more motivation in winter, but I'm gonna get it back, y'all. I'm gonna get it back.
And I find it funny, when you said you have to find like an accountability partner, I find it funny because I have to find one too. But that's kind of crazy we do, because at the same time, when you say you're gonna do something and you don't do it, you're kind of disappointing yourself.
Yeah.
But like, it's like when somebody else is there with you, you don't want to disappoint them, so you're gonna try even harder. But it's like, we should do that same thing for ourselves. Like, why don't we do that?
Yeah. And normally I'm more like I am consistent with the gym and I go by myself. But sometimes I feel a little lonely. I don't know, or like, I mean, I guess I own my own journey, but I feel like maybe going with someone would make it more fun. Like, it's fun, but I would feel like it would make it more enjoyable for me. So that's just it. But yeah. So, what for other goals maybe you have? What are some things that you do that you feel like you have been sticking to, or that you have been like consistent with, as far as like some of the other goals that you have for this year?
I will say that I have cooked more than I have in previous years. Now, if I tell you the amount, you're gonna be like, that's not a lot, but for me, it's a lot. So, you know, we're gonna keep that amount in the inside.
Yeah.
But I'm just letting you know that I have cooked more than I had last month.
Okay, well, that's
like
good.
Tremendously more.
I would say something that I feel like I've been doing better with is, maybe spending a little less time on my phone. And also, I've actually been reading more too. Actually, I've noticed that like I've been definitely wanting to read more often. I've found myself wanting to like just learn more, I guess. And I feel like as we kind of talked about in a previous episode, I love the joy of learning and just like knowing more things. But I feel like as you grow up, it's less like pressure on you to have to learn things. So you have to go out of your way to learn stuff and like be curious about certain things that might exist in the world. So I made it my intention now to, buy, if I see a book that I like, or see a book that might interest me, or something that is interesting to me, I'm gonna I get the book and then I read it. So I bought 2 books like last month, and I've been starting to read one, and I really like it. It's called Women Race Class by Angela Davis. She's like an activist in African American culture, so I really wanted to know more about African American culture, just how we came to where we were. A lot of history is more about history and how we come to where we are as far as like feminism and being a black woman. So I've been reading a little bit more reading, so I'm proud of myself for that, because normally, y'all, I do not be reading, and I've been reading way more consistently. I read when I'm at work.
That's really good. I've getting into my reading bag too. We started a book club with 2 of my line sisters, and we're reading Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. Okay. Now I will say at the beginning of the month we were slacking, because we had like we made a whole plan, a whole schedule. Okay. And for this month, and we're supposed to be doing the book by the end of this month, but time had other things. Yeah. So we're on the 6th chapter now. As long as you're reading, like you feel like you're learning something new. Exactly.
Or just hearing a different perspective. Sometimes it's just good to hear somebody else's thought process about certain things. And
I feel like now that I've graduated, I kind of enjoy reading more, just because when you're in school and you're like, you don't appreciate it. You don't appreciate it. We're told to read. It's like exactly, and it's like the stuff that you have to read with the textbooks. It's just not interesting to me. Like a lot of the stuff is like some stuff you just consume in your body just until you take a test and you just spew it all out and you forget about it. But like when you get to pick your own book and get to actually decide what you read, it makes it more interesting and more appealing to you.
You feel like you're learning for yourself, because you enjoy the pure joy of learning something new and like hearing a different perspective and a different thought process from somebody else, and just appreciating that, for what it is. So yes, I've been doing that, and I'm very happy for myself about that, because
big her.
I'm not I want to get into being like more educated and sounding more educated. So that's a major. That's like a long-term goal, but we're gonna get there one step at a time, y'all.
One day at a time.
That's why we started this podcast. I need to get better at public speaking. I need to get better at all those things so I can become that ideal version of myself.
And we're gonna talk about that later.
Okay. Have your goals changed? Have any of your goals changed? Things that you previously had, do you feel like you might have just altered your goals? So say like you wanted to do this X amount of runs and you like, I want to do this, or say you wanted to, save this amount of money and you changed it to maybe a bigger amount because you feel like you can do this. Like, what is...
Honestly, I don't think any of my goals have changed as of yet, just because I made my goals smaller, bite-sized goals, just so I could, force myself to go after that small thing before I, made it too big. Yeah. One of my biggest goals was to start a podcast. So, I would just say that we checked that one off the list big time. Yeah. And this is, the 5th episode, 6th episode?
5th episode, yeah.
So, you were still consistent. So, I would say, that right there, I didn't change that goal, but like that's the biggest bonus, biggest win so far.
So far, that's same for me. Like I've been the most consistent with this, and I think it's because I have a partner here that's gonna keep me accountable. You guys, she's gonna keep me accountable all the time,
and she's gonna keep me accountable.
Period. So yeah, I like that. Okay, so now we can transition into talking more about, confidence. Maybe confidence in our goals, and then also like maybe if you guys are having feelings of imposter syndrome or feeling like you're not good enough, whether it be for a job or opportunity or even a situation scenario you may be going through, you feel like you're not all the way equipped to handle all the things or know everything about specifically what you're dealing with or what you might be having to take on as a task. Just take your time and stuff like that. So we can touch on that. So let's just start off thinking about what does your ideal self look like. So when you picture this ideal version of you, who is she? What does she embody? And how can you embody that? How can I work towards embodying that version?
I would say my ideal version of myself, someone who's happy, healthy, and just doing the thing. Just doing it.
I know that's right.
Ball shot calling. Okay, because I like to be in charge, y'all. I like to be the boss. Yeah, I like to have control.
You like things to be done your way.
A certain way, but it's sometimes good to let go of the reins and let other people do it their way as well. Mm-hmm. That's a part of leading as well. But I see myself being a ball shot caller, about her business and just getting stuff done quickly, efficiently, and just making money. That's pretty much that's it. That's I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet, but I know that's how I see myself.
Being the same way, happy, healthy. But I see myself, and when I envision myself in this ideal version of myself, I think that she's, I'm well educated. I know, I have a vast diaspora of knowledge about different topics. I am very intuitive, very, I don't know. I'm kind, but I also have boundaries, and I have respect for myself and respect for others. And that's just really when I envision myself, I think of like a princess, but not in a way that's like I'm a princess, I want everything done for me, but in a way that like you think of like a Disney princess, and I like think of how kind they were and how but also how fierce they were and how like they still had their own personalities, but they stay true to their morals and they had integrity and things like that. That's what I think of when I think of my ideal version of myself. I want to have all those qualities, all those characteristics down to a pat, and I want to exude femininity and be feminine, and I want to help people and be kind and be smart and all those things. That's basically what I think of when I think of my head. I think I'm there. I just think that I just need to just certain tweaks that I need to tweak to myself to work on, and it's gonna happen as I get older, because
there's always room to grow. There's always room for improvement. So you're never gonna be perfect. Nobody.
I'm always gonna be improving all the time too. So I'm still allowing myself to make mistakes, but also knowing that I can get better, and I'm gonna get better over time, and not being too hard on myself, and giving myself grace like I would give a friend or a family member, anybody grace. So that's basically why I envisioned myself, not like the typical Disney character. I'm just a pretty princess, not like that, not in a conceited way, but in a very I want to embody what it means to be a woman and what it means to be kind and thoughtful and things like that. So that's what I think of when I think of my ideal version of myself. So what can we do to embody that version? So what are steps that we can take now to be more like those versions of ourselves? Because those versions are not, they're not, they're real, they're reality. We create our own reality. So what can we do to step into that next
I feel like just waking up every day and remembering who you are and who you want to be in the future, and just doing things that you feel like is good for you to get there. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? Who knows what the next step's going to be? But as long as you're doing things to try to get to your next step, then you're gonna be on your next step.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. And that's really just acknowledging maybe where your areas where you're not the best at, just acknowledging that, and then just doing small things to do better with that, or putting yourself in situations where you can be better in that. So I'm not the best at public speaking. I've always been a train wreck, you guys. I used to be so bad at public speaking, but now I feel like I'm getting to a point where I'm growing more, and I read more, so my vocabulary is more extensive, things like that. So I want to to embody that educated, smart person that I want to be. I have to
but that you are right now. You already are that.
Yes.
But you want to grow more into that.
Yes.
Yeah.
To sit more in that space, I have to, just put myself in situations like where I am now. I'm talking to you guys right now, so putting myself in situations where I can be that version of myself.
And I feel like it's important to be open to changing yourself as well, because some people just get so stuck in their ways and how they are right now, and oh my gosh, I'm doing things right. Yeah. But it's like, yes, you may be doing things right, but there's always room to improve. Yeah. So why not just open yourself up to improvements? Or if somebody gives you some advice, don't take that in a negative way. Take that as a, they're trying to help me type of way.
It depends on how they say it too. So if you come to me and you're like, I think you should work on this, out of respect, because I know that you appreciate me and you love me. I know that you're coming to me out of a place of love, and that you see places where I might not see it, that I could improve.
And some people would take that to heart and just get upset with that. But it's like, no, like people really do. People out here are really trying to help you sometimes. Now, not everybody, but
I can pause it.
But a lot of people.
Some people might be praying on your downfall, but I'm talking about your real friends and people that surround you and give you love and respect, and they're honest with you. They're going to be honest with you in a way that's that will not hurt your feelings, and tell you in a way that's still loving and appreciative. I say all that to say, how can we become more confident, and how can we walk into rooms like we are that girl? How can we embody that person that we want to be, or the person that we are, or sit more in accepting who we are? Honestly,
when I walk into a room sometimes, and to have more confidence, show off, to show I have more confidence, I will sing a song in my head, my thing. You have a theme song. Sometimes I'm like, let me see you walk.
No,
walk. And I would just walk into the room, because sometimes walking into a room with a lot of people can be kind of scary.
It can be kind of intimidating.
Because you want to just excuse me, but no. Put your shoulders back and just walk up in there like you own the place. And it's not in a conceited or stuck up type of way, but it's I know who I am and whose I am. So therefore, I know I'm supposed to be here. So I'm going to walk in here like I have some sense, like I'm supposed to be here. Because you're in the room you're supposed to be in for a reason. So therefore, you need to live into it.
Come on now. I know that's right. Yeah, so even if you're not feeling like even if you don't feel like it, just act like you feel. You have to fake it till you make it, feel what you feel. Walk into that room. What I do when I'm walking into a room and, I want to exude confidence, I just imagine me playing a character. I don't imagine me being me necessarily. If I'm feeling a little bit insecure, I don't imagine me feeling insecure. I imagine me feeling like nobody can touch me and nobody can do things like how I do it. So I'm going to walk into the room like I know I can do whatever y'all do and do it better. Come on.
Period. Because, they say fake it till you make it. And they also say, when, you're really not happy or you're having a bad day, some people say if you just smile, it's going to automatically give you endorphins. Because whenever you smile, you automatically get endorphins. So I would think about, confidence the same way. If you're not feeling confident, just listen to a theme song, listen to a podcast, listen to whoever your inspirational thing is, whatever that thing is that makes you feel happy, listen to that and pretend you are that person. Get into that character, and then eventually it won't be like you faking it anymore. It will actually come to you naturally because of the fact that you practiced it. Yeah. Because nothing's gonna come without practice.
That's true. You gotta fake it.
You gotta rewire your brain for real.
And change your mindset. So you really have to. I'm telling you guys, if I'm walking into an interview, anytime I'm feeling a little bit, they might be judging me. Feeling judged. I'm like, first of all, I think in my head, these are just people. At the end of the day, who can judge me and look at me from the outside? You can do what you want, but you have not lived my life. You are not who I am. You know what I mean? You have not lived through what I've lived through. You haven't experienced what I've experienced. You don't even have the same thought process. So I have to know, I'm coming into it knowing that I'm a completely different person than you. And at the end of the day, you can, judge me all you want, but at the end of the day, you are still human. You know what I mean? You are still a human. You have flaws, mistakes, and they have to say their own things that I may not know about. But I have to walk in there like I know that I can do the job. I can handle whatever they throw at me because I'm experienced in this field. I'm used to doing this. I'm used to this. I'm not true to this. I'm true to this. I'm not new to this. Hello.
Period.
But yeah, so wrote that in my notes. I said, know that you are imperfectly perfect. You have flaws, but they make you beautiful. Walk with your head held high. Fix your posture. And own it. Own you. Own everything about you.
Work
and
your thing.
I feel like confidence is really just about self-acceptance and just knowing you're that girl. Having that mindset, like, nobody can take away what I have and who you are. So that in itself that should give me confidence. Nobody is me, so nobody can touch me.
One of a kind.
You know what I mean? And you shouldn't have to say anything. I feel like, so a lot of times on social media they try to tell you, people post, oh, I'm that girl, and like, if you're that girl, you don't need to say you're that girl. I know you're that girl.
I can see it. I can feel
see it on you. I can feel it. Yeah, you exude that girl.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Just looking at you. So there's no reason for you to say, announce it to the world. People just know you that girl, or know that you are who you are. They're gonna know it, and you have to just show it. So everybody has insecure moments. Don't let them get you down. Be you and be authentically you. Be genuine to who you are and your personality. I know me. This girl, she knows that I'm loud. I laugh loud. I'm a little ditzy sometimes. I enjoy, I enjoy making people laugh. I like people laugh at my jokes. Even laugh at my jokes, I'm like, boring. I get bored very easily. I'm a Gemini. I just have to always have something to look forward to, and I get excited about very simple things. Like, I get ecstatic over like boba tea. I love boba, and I love like just little things, you guys, teddy bears and just things like that. So, I'm authentically me all the time, And people might not like things that I like. People might not like things that I do, or mistakes that I make, or whatever. But that's what makes me me, and I'm appreciative of all the little things that I have about me, because can't nobody be me.
Could nobody. And you gotta remember, not everybody is going to like you, and that's okay, because you're not for everybody.
Exactly. And so, also maybe we can touch on things what are ways that we can, feel more confident. So what are things that we do that make us feel more confident? So like, I know for me, I try to say affirmations internally. I don't like to say them out loud. I just say them internally. Or sometimes I meditate, like, I'm not saying in my head, I'm that girl. I'm just saying in my head, I am loving, I'm kind, I'm patient, I'm intelligent. You know what I mean? So just always giving myself, knowing that I am those things, makes me feel more appreciative of me. You know what I mean? It makes me feel more appreciative of me and who I am, and giving out that same thing to other people.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know what I mean? So affirmations is a good thing. I don't know. What else? What else you?
I think for me, I do affirmations. I sing songs in my head, and I just know who I am and whose I am, and keep that at the forefront of my head. And no matter what anybody says to me, the most important opinion of me is what I think of myself. So as long as you remember that, that's all you. Everything else does not matter. But if you don't have a good representation of yourself and don't think of yourself in a positive light, then you need to find it in yourself to change those thoughts. So then you can be a more happier person.
It's like a mindset shift. Like, if you focus on the negative, that's all you'll see. But if you focus on the positive, then that's all you'll see. You know what I mean? So if I focus on these positive qualities that I have, not saying I don't have negative qualities or things that I could work on, but it's like acknowledging and focusing more on the positive things will bring me not only confidence but happiness in knowing that I do have these qualities, and this is what I think of myself. You know what I mean? Because if this is what I think of myself, then other people, who cares what they think? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, they have their own insecurities. So why am I, worried about them or what they think? I know who I am. You know what I mean? So just sitting in that, and yeah.
So now it's time for our quote of the day. Quote. And Cameron's going to give us that today.
Okay. So this is directly related to all the things we've been talking about today. But no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. And this is from Eleanor Roosevelt. So just like you were saying just now, literally, no one can make you feel that you are less than without you feeling less than. So without you acknowledging that. So as long as you don't acknowledge, negative things or, negative thoughts that you might have or about who you are or maybe your personality or whatever you may be insecure about, as long as you don't acknowledge it, nobody can make you feel less than, because you are not accepting what they believe. You know what I mean? So just don't accept what people believe about yourself, and believe only what you feel, and what you know, who you are, and your personality, and what makes you you. So believe in who you are, and don't let others' opinions, you know, kind of skew you. Or
of course, yeah, because they can try to start a fire in your court. Guess what? You can always put that fire out, or you can add flame to that fire.
Come
so
on
as long
now.
as you put that fire out, you're gonna be good. But thank you all so much for listening to us today. We hope that this podcast has inspired you to keep it positive.